Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the second series of tonight's stream. That was a pretty long break, but hey, at least we got some things done. I am Victor VDM, returning in the casting booth with Herbie once again.
And we are watching the Vortex this time, and the defending league champions in Little Wamens playing their first match of the season and taking on an Ulfstein's roster that are definitely the underdogs in this series, but they have the potential to cause an upset. I've seen these players in action plenty, and looking forward to wondering how they're going to fare against the top dogs.
Yeah, like mentioned earlier, Little Wamens are the defending champions from Season 8 of ECC. They were dominating playoffs with fashion, and like I mentioned as well, last series, Little Wamens have two players who qualified for closed qualifiers for RCS, somewhere around there. But nonetheless, that means two of the players does have that experience of how it feels like to play in that high, setting. And as well, some of the players, I believe, Herbie, you as well dug up some information that some of the players are actually 2K.
I'd heard that there was a replacement coming in for Little Wamens in this series, Swift being replaced by Rexo, so that could change the dynamic for them in this match. I mean, it's their first match of the season, so for these teams that are at the very top of the game, perhaps you're not necessarily looking to top league play. Of course, it is nice to have. You get yourselves into the upper bracket, easier run to the finals, but it may take a couple of games for Little Wamens to hit peak form again. When you're the defending champions, there can be a lot of pressure on you. So we'll see how they get on. It's still a fixture that I think they should win, but maybe they're not going to be at peak form, and Ulfsteins might grab a game or two.
It's gonna, it's mainly surrounding that replacement, like you said. It all depends on how the two players from Little Wamens will, adjust their playstyle with this new third to see how well they play together. Maybe there are some miscommunications now and then leading to some conceding goals, but nonetheless, Little Wamens, they are the defending champions. I don't see them, losing hard. It's going to be close games, of course. Nothing too easy, I guess. But still a good show. But nonetheless, let's move over to the predictions. Herbie, who do you think will take it home?
Well, I have to go for Little Wamens. It would be silly to go against the defending champions in their first match of the new season. There may be roster changes, and it may be a potential banana peel of an opponent in the Ulfsteins, but I was so impressed by this Little Wamens team commentating on them in the Vortex playoffs, and I expect more of the same. Do I think it will be a sweep? The neutral in me is hoping not, and that it won't be a simple rollover for them in this game. So with the roster change and that in mind, I will go for 3-1 Little Wamens.
I have to just agree with you here, Herbie. I believe Little Wamens will be the ones who come out victorious from this series. They are the defending champions, and a little roster change won't let a sweep or a loss happen anytime soon. I don't believe so, at least. And like you said, it won't be as easy. It won't be an easy sweep for Little Wamens. I believe it's going to be a 3-1. As mentioned, there's going to be a replacement, so they have to take the few games just as a training, to see how well they can adjust their play styles to fit each other more. And so basically, they're probably just gonna take it as a learning curve in this series to see how well they can play. So probably not gonna be an easy sweep. Mainly just trying to figure out how they can adjust to each other's play styles in this upcoming series.
But of course, with this being the Vortex itself, the need to slow down and make adjustments is minimised, because these players, if anyone can do it in the ECC, the players of this quality are the ones that can adjust to having to make those changes and do it quickly, and then just get on with playing a basic, high-quality brand of Rocket League, if not the typical Rocket League that you're used to playing. You just simply play like a 2K team and see if that's enough for you to get the win. And how they get off to a start in this series in game one will be the indicator of that, because Ulfstein's interesting side for them to come up against. Oofstones are 0-1 this season. They lost their opener to Imagine Playing Freeze, another very strong 2K seeded team that was always going to be tricky for them. But the one game that the Oofstones did win in that series was Brazil, which is quite the hefty scoreline to be taking a game in the series and then ultimately losing the series in 4 games. So, I mean, if they can produce results like that 7-1 on a more consistent basis, they'll give Little Wamens some trouble here.
Yeah, no idea how Oofstones have done with that series. Probably, analyze it a bit more as well. So it's going to be exciting to see how Oofstones will take on Little Wamens in this upcoming series. And Little Wamens, like mentioned, have they even played the first series yet?
No, this is the first series of the season for Little Wamens. They are yet to play. There's a few teams that are on 2 matches played, but there are no real pace setters at the top of the division. It's Dunno Chief top at the moment, having swept their only fixture so far, and 4 other teams on 1 win. So the table is wide open here in week 1, and it's an opportunity for Little Wamens to catapult themselves all the way to the top.
Yeah, it's going to be a difficult one though for Little Wamens, but hey, it's going to be interesting to see how they, will, like I said, readjust their playstyle, as it is Rexo who will be replacing Swift for this series. But both of us see Little Wamens winning. There's no doubt they're probably winning. They're the defending champions. Unless a huge upset, comes out of nowhere by Oofstones, which we do love seeing, by the way. Just some underdog coming out of nowhere, proving their worth. But who knows? Will that happen? Probably, because, I mean, look at them. They took 1 game off Imagine Playing Freeze, and it was a Brazil as well. So if they just keep that, like you said, keep that momentum going, they probably have a chance. But Little Wamens, yeah, strong team.
Well, for Oofstones, it's a roster where Hodge and Havoc have stuck together for quite some time now, through previously being the Oofstones and then Kawana Academy, and now back to being the Oofstones again. They've never really settled on a consistent third that has lasted for multiple seasons. So I believe this is another new third for them ahead of this ECC9 season now. And it will be a real test for Alex Meister to see how they gel with Hodge and Havoc and try and fit into this team.
Yeah, already, like we said, the Brazil up against Imagine Playing Freeze, a 2K team. It's very, very good to see that, at least they have some momentum going from that game. But hey, it's going to be a tough one for all Oofstones up against Little Wamens, the defending champions. But let's not delay it anymore. Let's just jump straight into the action, shall we?
So the second and final match of the evening is in the Vortex, and it's the defending league champions, Little Wamens, looking to get off to a winning start here against the Oofstones, and we are preparing to get ourselves underway here in Game 1 and see which team will strike first in this one. The previous series that we had was a comfortable victory for Nox Tampa over ILV Forest Green, where the damage was done very early on in Game 1, so the first one is very important. And here come the Oofstones from the kickoff, looking to make something happen, but Painey sweeps it away.
It is now the Oofstones who are trying or piling up that pressure. Alec Meister into the middle for Havoc to score! They are the one to grab the lead!
Well, the Oofstones go in front, and they showed that intent from the very first kickoff 15 seconds ago. And Little Wamens just haven't really woken up yet. And the quick first goal goes to the underdogs in blue. And now we'll see if the Oofstones can expand upon that lead. It's certainly a very good kickoff there from Hodge. Rexo will have to deal with this into the corner, quickly into the flames. Now dragging the ball further forwards, looking for the bump on the defender. Hodge is going to get that back to the halfway line, and play might just slow down a little bit.
So far, so good for Oofstones. They've been piling up the pressure, but it is now Little Wamens to return it, as that was nearly going in. A double touch by Rexo, but unfortunately just nudging that crossbar and jumping out of that danger zone for Oofstones. And still, Oofstones pretty much the underdog. Very well, played by them, just piling up the pressure, bumping, very aggressive into this first game. They're not even scared. They don't care if Little Wamens or the defending champions. They want to be the next champions, and that's what they're trying to prove here.
And Havoc trying to drag the ball forwards, looking for a second goal for the Youth Stones as they've kept Little Wamens off the board in the first minute and 30 or so. Great pass into the middle from Hodge there, and Havoc had their shot blocked down at the source by Rexo. Hodge has now been caught a little far forwards on the halfway line, but Havoc will make a 50 to try and slow Little Wamens down. Alex Meister is up there onto the far side and turns the ball over to Creamy, but Youth Stones are doing a solid job of controlling the ball in their defensive third, and now they lift another shot in. Rexo has Little Wamens under a little bit of pressure as they clear it into the corner. Alex Meister will follow it up, but we are approaching the halfway point of this game one, and I am surprised that Little Wamens are yet to score.
You're not the only one who is surprised. I am so as well. Probably some people in chat as well, seeing that Little Wamens are currently struggling a bit up against Youth Stones. Well, 2 minutes have gone, which is way more than enough time to score one goal. But the amount of pressure piled up by Youth Stones is incredible. As I speak, Hodge with another shot. Creamy there with a save. That's a huge pinch to send it away from Danger Paney into the middle. Hodge with the clear.
Well, Little Wamens have defended well to avoid going down by multiple goals. I feel like the Youth Stones were more likely to add to their lead, but as I say that, it's a real gift of a goal there for Little Wamens as they turn the ball over and Creamy is on hand to receive it. It's 1-1 now in this game, exactly on the halfway point, and it turns into an entirely new game one now.
Hodge just not expecting his teammate Alex Meister to just miss it. He expected Alex to actually clear it, and just decided, I'll trust my teammate and go for this boost while he's at it. And then out of nowhere, it is Creamy who just out of nowhere puts it in, but as I speak, he grabs the lead.
And just 9 seconds on from the equaliser, it's now normal service resumed for Little Wamens as they take the lead and capitalise on a brief lapse in concentration for the Youth Stones. But when you're the underdogs in the series, you cannot afford to give your opponents even an inch, because Little Wamens will take a yard. And now they find themselves in front. Can they build upon this lead? It's Rexo from the kickoff. Could make things yet worse for the Youth Stones. Rexo still going in the offensive third. Creamy blocks this one as Havoc cleared it away. Paney will try and send it back down the left wing and chase it themselves, but will be cleared out by Hodge, and I think the damage has been done. It's a 2-1 deficit now for the Youth Stones.
Yeah, the pace seems to have picked up by Little Wamens now, which Youth Stones shouldn't be, a bit too calm about. They're very aggressive now. Little Wamens, as I speak, Creamy going for another shot, a bit too wide, but Paney with an attempt a bit too wide as well. Like I said earlier, the pace is better now by Little Wamens, keeping the pressure up. The defense great, the offense great. Everything's going great in their half right now. It's just a matter of time. Oh, that's a double demo, but Paney will capitalize on it.
Yes, it was one demo aside there, leaving not many players left in front of the net, but it was Alex Meister on the clearance there. Needed to do better than that. Instead, it chipped the ball towards their own net, and there was always going to be an easy finish there on the cards for Little Wamens, who didn't let their heads drop in the first minute or so of the game when the Youth Stones were playing strongly, and now it is the team in blue that find themselves under pressure. And just looking at the points at the moment, I don't think Hodge has gotten himself involved in the offence enough. It's 5 shots on target for Havoc and comfortably ahead in points with 4 saves as well. Hodge is typically the player I'd regard as the strongest offensive threat for the Youth Stones, but he's not had much opportunity to get forwards.
Yeah, he's not had a much to push forward, like you said, Hodge. He has to pick it up a bit, be a bit more aggressive, a bit, there for the team, basically. But as I speak now, Creamy into the middle. Rexo's waiting. Pop into the middle as well. Havoc now pops it over Paney. Gets the demo on Creamy as well. That's an open net, but Rexo makes it back in time. What a play!
Well, Rexo is having a very decent game here. Not on the scoreboard, but defensively consistent and really helping out Little Wamens. And it looks like the adjustment period is very short indeed, because they are playing very solidly as we approach the final 15 seconds of this game, and it looks like a Little Wamens victory unless the Youth Stones can conjure up something magic in the final 10 to counter-attack that they have to score on. But the Little Wamens put the ball up at the halfway line. Rexo trying to get on the board for the first time, And they do get a touch on this. A absolute steal there. But Rexo will be very glad to have scored that goal.
Oh, Rexo just missing his flick, and Payne is like, hey, Rexo, don't worry, I'll take it for you. Rexo just says, no, I'll grab it for myself. It was my shot from the first place, so I'll claim it.
And well, you have to remember when the Usteins were out shooting Little Wamens 6-4, because the shots have finished 15-8 in favour of Little Wamens. The game just completely turned on its head as soon as they found the equaliser, and it ends up looking like a comfortable victory when I don't really feel like that was the case. The Usteins were the better team for the first couple of minutes of the game, but they didn't extend upon that lead enough to really give the Little Wamens some problems.
Yeah, it's just really great. Little Wamens can be very happy with that game. You know, they were playing with Rexo, who replaced Swift, which, you know, they had to make a really quick adjustment, and they conceded at first, right? Which, you know, maybe was devastating at first, but when you look at the time, you had 3 minutes to score, and look at what they did. 4-1, they converted that, you know, 1-goal deficit by Oofstones into just a 4-1 win. But now we move over to game number 2, and once again, the most pretty map, in my opinion, Forbidden Temple.
Well, Forbidden Temple is the setting here for Game 2, and we will see if the Oofsteins can force this series to an extra game by grabbing themselves a win here. And they only have to look at the previous match that we saw on stream for advice. The Nox Tampa roster scored 2 goals to open up the game in the first 40 seconds or so, and that was ultimately enough for them to push on and get the victory. So 1 is not really enough. Even if you do strike first, you need more offense against this Little Wamens team that has plenty of their own. And it's a scoreless first 20 seconds of the game as Creamy tried to drag it into the net. Rexo is up for this on the right-hand side. Looks to direct it towards the centre. Payne's up for this one. Double commit from the Oofsteins, but Creamy is going to follow it up, and it looks like the game has settled into a bit of a rhythm.
Into a little rhythm indeed, but as we speak, Rexo with the unfortunate miss leading into leaving the net wide open for Havoc to just capitalize on. Rexo, what are you doing there? You were third.
But it's Havoc again that scores for the Oofsteins, and it's not going to be enough. They need goals from other players. You could argue that Alex Meister was a little unlucky to get that one, as I did see them flinging themselves in for the follow-up shot as well. But the Oofsteins need consistent offence, but Havoc's going for a second himself. Why not? Dangerous in front of the net. Double commit there from the Little Wamens, and Alex Meister is up for this. It comes off the backboard. He goes for the double tap. Hodge is there for the rebound, and it's scrambled out to the wing by Little Wamens as Alex Meister is unfortunately bumped into the clearance, and Havoc will get it away. But the Oofstones are 1-0 up again. Will we see a similar result as to Game 1?
That is the question. Will it be the same result as in Game 1, or will it be a bit closer this time? As we speak now, Rexo with an attempt into Creamy. Oh, great shot, but double commit by defense. In the defense there, leaving Payne an open net.
Well, it's one of those double commits where it's difficult to avoid it in that situation when you have a pile driver of a shot coming in on your line. You're just thinking, panic, need to make this save. It's a huge shot, and well, they didn't get enough power on the clearance themselves, and now Little Wamens will look to score a quick second as they did in Game 1, but it's Havoc getting the ball over halfway. Rexo sends it back and is on a solo mission against 2 Oofsteins at the moment. Alex Meister can only clear it as far as Payne. Rexo taps it down, Payne's looking for it, and gets the shot on target where Hodge is equal to the challenge and makes the save.
Havoc just trying, just all the time, try to get that clear. Once again, that double committing the net, just nearly just leaving the net wide open for someone to score. But nonetheless, it is just a ping pong. Basically just ping pong, both teams just trying to open up the defense in each other, trying to force that door open, actually find some, you know, misclears. As I speak, that's a shot, but Hodge is there finally with something good on the board, gets that save as Alex Meister gets the clear into the orange corner. Havoc trying to pin it down into the middle. Alex Meister's there, but gets blocked by Payne. Creamy with the clear. Rexo now quick on the follow-up, can't really find a touch. Creamy with a brilliant one, keeps the ball in the blue hole.
And interestingly, I've seen a few double commits from Little Wamens. Oh, Stone's going up for a redirect here, and it is Hodge figuring into the offense. He doesn't get the goal, but he puts a pinpoint pass over to Havoc. That is the best goal that we've seen the Stones put on yet. A real highlight reel finish, and they retake the lead just past the halfway point.
What a shot, honestly. Brilliant pass by Hodge as well. Finding his teammate just upfield, just going for it. Realizes he can't really do much with the ball. You know what? Hey, Havoc, catch. And oh boy, did he catch it and throw it down straight into the orange net.
Rexo now from the back right corner as Little Wamens find themselves in the interesting position of being down by a goal again, and not quite the easy ride that they had in game one. The Youth Stones are putting together a more consistent performance, but there are still 2 minutes to go. Plenty of time for the Little Wamens to pile the goals on the board and change that, but they are on the back foot for the time being, and there are double commits just seeping through the cracks here. He has to get some distance on this ball and does so. Hodge will clear it back in the direction of Havoc, and Alex Meister is also on hand. Demo there from Paney opens the shot up for Creamy. Rexo keeps the ball in the offensive half and will now send it back for Paney, who launches it off the backboard, but Hodge makes the clear again.
That's a shot by Paney off the corner as he stopped speaking. Hodge, just getting that brilliant read. But Paney here just grabs that ball, throws it from the corner, and equalizes the game for the second time.
Yes, I can only be honest there that I didn't see the angle for the shot happening at all there, and I don't think the defender Havoc did either, because he was in a position to make the save. He's in some trouble now, has to get this again off the backboard because Rexo is there, and Hodge will now drag it further clear. He's got full boost, wins it into the middle. Alex Meister puts a through ball down the wing, which Hodge can't capitalise on as Paney took the passing angle away. Now Rexo, as we're into the final minute of a tied game 2 here. This is a pivotal moment in the series. If Little Wamens can take this game as well, they will be in such a good position to win the series in 3.
Ooh, Rexo off the ceiling, trying to get that redirect from Creamy's pass. But now it is Stones to return the favour. Rexo cutting it short. Creamy now getting the block on Alex Meister, going for the midfield pass, can't really do much with it as Hodge is in the way. Paney cutting that defense real quick in half as Havoc sends it away. Now Rexo trying to keep the ball in his corner, Havoc just blocking it. That's nearly going to the middle as Alex Meister tries to return it back, but Creamy again with the second touch to get that clear. Paney now trying to block out Havoc's attempt, can't really do much. That's a ground pinch, but Rexo is quick on it.
10 seconds to go now. Creamy into the centre. Paney! And it's a goal for the Little Wamens with 7 seconds to go. That is an absolute dagger for the Youth Stones, as it looked like a fairly conspicuous opportunity to begin with, but the rotation from Havoc on the back post was not quick enough.
7 seconds left on the clock. It all depends on this one kickoff. What will happen? One goal down. Alex Meister putting it into the corner. Creamy now taking his time, trying to go for that kill. Hodge tries to go for the pass, can't do much. The ball drops. Little Wamens grabs that second game.
Yeah, that's an absolute steal for the Little Wamens in that game, in my opinion. I honestly felt like the Youth Stones deserved to win that one, and I'm sure the players agree with that sentiment. So it's going to be tough for them mentally to pull themselves back into this series now as they find themselves 2-0 down, and I don't think they'll feel like they deserve to be. It was a strong performance from both teams in that game. Interesting that Rexo didn't register a shot on target. The player that has come in as a reserve for Little Wamens, not really figuring into the offense at all, but duo chemistry of Paney and Creamy is just proving too much for the opposing duo of Havoc and Hodge at the moment.
Yeah, indeed, but hey, Rexo has something to prove. Maybe he will do it in this third game, just showing everyone, hey, I came to replace Swift in this game, and I'll make sure it was worth it. And so far, so good. But Paney and Creamy, oh boy, 7 shots and 5 shots by Paney as well. But let's not get too much ahead here. Look at Stones. They have a lot of pressure. As well. It's very even, but it all depends on this third game. What will happen now? It is match point for Little Wamens. Stones, all they have to pray for is to grab this game and get that motivation going for that reverse sweep if they want to stay alive in the series.
but if not a reverse sweep, I think the Ubestones will want to avoid being swept, and at least for their performance in this series to get them one game out of it. Of course, game win difference can prove to be a very important factor come the end of the season as well, especially for a team such as the Ubestones, whose chances of getting into the Vortex playoffs could rest on their game win difference. They're looking for the first goal of the game again for the third consecutive game. Alex Meister puts this one off the back ball, goes for the double tap. That one's going to come downwards. Havoc receives it on the far side, puts it back into the mixer. Greeny from the ceiling directs it downwards, and Paney gets it all the way clear. Is this headed all the way in? No, it just goes wide on the far side, but that was an early warning sign for the Ubestones of the threat that they carry on the counter-attack.
That was very shocking. That shot that nearly went in, or well, rather rolled in, was very dangerous as the net was just wide open, which means, the rotations, the positioning by Ubestones isn't on peak in this game. That's another mistap by Alex Meister, but he will keep it out of trouble for now as Havoc now sends it into the corner. Creamy can't find a touch. Rexo nearly putting it in, but happily avoids danger there.
Yes, I'm sure Rexo's life just flashed before their eyes there as they were so close to converting that own goal, but in the Vortex you can't afford to make those mistakes, and they do keep their cool. It is still 0-0 here as we approach the 92nd mark of this game, and well, the Ubestones usually have taken the lead by now if the previous couple of games were anything to go by, so might just be a little bit worrying for them. They do need to be the team playing from in front in this one.
Creamy as well. That's a rule 1, but Paney! No way! I don't know if that was really a rule 1. It seemed like they were going to be, and then some out of nowhere it just broke him to bits. But nonetheless, I was about to comment on how Creamy just team bombed Rexo off the ball, but Paney is the one to grab the lead for the first time for Little Wamens.
Well, it's the clear from Alex Meister that has created that goal there for Little Wamens. Had plenty of time, wasn't really under any pressure, but just dropped the ball down directly in front of them, and no opportunity for Hodge and Havoc to recover defensively to receive it. Could be a second. Paney's put in a thumping shot, but Alex Meister makes up for their earlier mistake with a save on this occasion. Hodge trying to barrel his way over the top of the Little Wamens resistance, but it's Rexo winning it back. Greamy gets the bump in on the line. Rexo's following it up. Still loose in front of the net, and Paney is the next player into the play, but the Ubestones clear it over to the corner. Now Hodge and Havoc kicking their way down the right wing. Rexo has possession, but is in a bit of a difficult position. Ends up blocking it off of Creamy, who takes possession but gives it away to Hodge now. Has an angle for a pass into the middle, but looks for the bump instead. We're at the halfway point of this game, number 3 now, and the Ubestones need to try and come from behind.
Oh, Paney getting that juke. That's a musty flick into the top corner. Paney with the second goal of the game.
Oh, juicy finish indeed. Gets a nice one in the chat from both Havoc and Hodge, and that is no surprise at all. What a finish, and that just oozes quality from the defending champions there. And now 2-0 up at the halfway point of this game 3. Very, very difficult for the Ubestones to try and muster a comeback in this one, as they have failed to generate offense really in the second halves of games. They won't give up though. They've played well at times in this series. They just need to find that momentum again here in the final 2 minutes of the game. It is Alex Meister missing on the passing chance into the centre. Havoc lifts it in for Hodge, but Creamy makes a relatively straightforward save.
Now Rexo just trying to keep some pressure up for Little Wamens as they already are leading by 2. They can't just take it easy now. They can keep that lead going for a little bit more than 1 minute for them to grab that sweep. But as I speak, oh, what a save by Paney. That was just going on target by Alex Meister. That was a great shot, but Paney with the brilliant save in front of the corner. Just, keeps that 2-goal deficit up for Little Wamens.
Well, musty flicks at one end, incredible saves at the other. That's Paney for you, and it's a 2-0 lead still with just over a minute to go. Time is running out on the Ubestones if they are to get a game in this series. Alex Meister, dangerous pass in, but as per usual, the Little Wamens clear their line successfully. Rexo now keeps the ball moving in the offensive third, might get it all the way into the centre. Pinched clear by Alex Meister and Havoc as a teamwork effort. Now looking for a pass into the middle. Hodge is there. Hodge without a goal in this series, very uncharacteristic of him, and that streak could well continue as they are running out of time.
So far from how much I've seen, Paney is a real pain in the butt for Roofstones, but as they speak, Hodge will close down that 2-goal deficit to a 1-goal deficit. 43 seconds left on the clock. It's beginning to close down a bit now.
Well, I think Hodge can thank me for that goal after the commentator's curse kicked in just 10 seconds after I was done saying he wasn't going to score in the series. Now the Youth Stones are back within one with 40 seconds to go, and it is very much game on. They just have to avoid conceding a quick one, and Rexo is trying to make that happen from the kickoff. Somehow keeps possession in the air, but here comes Alex Meister over the top. Can't get past Creamy. 30 seconds to go now. Havoc launches one, and this is going to come off the backboard. Alex Meister was up for it, but couldn't get the follow-up shot on target. Rexo will clear this all the way over the halfway line. Keeps going into the offensive corner. Alex Meister just gets any touch on it. The Youth Stones have got to get out of their own half. Hodge on for Alex Meister, and it's 2-2. The Youth Stones are level.
What a shot! Alex Meister able to redeem himself from that double touch earlier. Equalizes the game. 12 seconds left on the clock. Little Wamens have to pick up the pace a bit now.
Well, shocking there. Can the Youth Stones steal this one before the end of regulation? They do win the kickoff, but Havoc can't get the block. Hodge will pick up the boost at the halfway line. Alex Meister will send it clear up to the halfway line where Creamy has missed it. Rexo has missed it as well. Alex Meister can't get the follow-up touch, and we will have overtime here in Game 3. The Youth Stones need one more.
One more is what's needed for them to stay alive in this series. Alex Meister nearly sneaking one behind, but Rexo was waiting patiently. That's a shot by Havoc, nearly going in, but Creamy is there to save it. Alex Meister going for another attempt, blocked by Rexo. Now Hodge sending it back into that box. Creamy with the clear. Alex Meister avoiding death there and saving the ball. Hodge now gets a brilliant clear into Creamy, unfortunately. Creamy now trying to find one of his teammates, can't really do much. Paney now into the corner, back into the middle, can't find one of his teammates, finds Alex Meister instead. Creamy fast on the ball, goes for a shot here, a bit too wide. Havoc gets the read, sends it away into the middle. Hodge with the block on a Rexo. That ball is dangerously into the orange corner. Alex Meister with a shot, but blocked away from Creamy. Ooh, that was the closest, the closest bit there for Youth Stones to maybe just put one in.
13 shots for the Youth Stones, maybe make it 14 as Creamy deflects this one into the corner. Hodge wins it back again, and Rexo makes the clear themselves. Now Havoc stepping into the play, the offensive catalyst, but can't create anything on this occasion. Alex Meister from the right side, they've got a chance to shoot here, and Rexo makes another save. 9 in the game for the Little Wamens. Great defender from them to keep themselves in this one after the best performance of the series for the Youth Stones. Hodge is the only defender back though, and they missed it. It's Rexo, but Hodge makes the save anyway. Rexo just needed to thump that one in with some speed, but went for the fancy shot instead. Rexo again, but Hodge clears this one away, and somehow this overtime goes on.
That could have been a close-up there. Hodge! Straight off the corner. Oh my god. I was about to say that he missed it, but that was so close to once again just keep that overtime alive. But hey, it is Youth Stones to grab that third game, staying alive in the series.
Well, I had a heart attack watching that. I'm sure the players were very similar. That was so close to being a turnover in front of the net, but the reactions from Hodge to tap it home. 2 goals in this game. That's what they needed from him offensively. Involved in all 3 of the Youth Stones goals. We know that's what he's capable of, and he has proven it here in this Game 3 to extend the series to at least a 4th game, possibly further beyond for the Youth Stones. And, well, they deserve it. They've played better and better as this series has gone on. The question is, can they tie it up?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how Little Wamens will pick up from this third game. They had so many opportunities to just end it there in the overtime, but somehow, it is Youth Stones to convert it into their own win. Let's talk about Rexo there as well. Instead of going for a simple just tap into the goal, he went for a musty flick, but I guess it was because of the pre-flip that he'd had as well. He couldn't do really much on that whole situation. But hey, let's move over to game number 4 in Utopia Coliseum. Will Little Wamens finally close it off now, or will Youth Stones force Little Wamens into a game number 5?
Well, at the beginning of the series, I did predict a Little Wamens win in 4, but the Youthstones have played better than I initially anticipated that they would, so it could go either way this one. But Little Wamens, of course, have that series lead, and we know the quality that they have, the clutch factor that they have, the defending champions of the ECC. Still 2 opportunities for them to close out the series, but they nearly concede the first goal of the game again as it's Havoc denied by the woodwork on this occasion. Now Creamy looking straight down the middle, but there will be no early goal in game 4.
Rexo trying to block out Alex Meister in the process as well of keeping that pressure up for Little Wamens as Havoc keeps on piling the pressure. That's a pass into the middle by one of the defenders as Hodge really capitalized on it.
Well, Hodge played into favour by the woodwork again as this one goes bar down and into the net, and it's a 1-0 lead for the Youthstones again, who have proven themselves very capable of striking first in these games, and that's a very good platform to start from if they're looking to tie up this series, but they're going to need more offence than that. Alex Meister now from the left wing has Creamy to beat. This one will drop down again, and now it's Painey for Little Wamens. Havoc gets it clear off the ceiling, giving the way to Rexo as we get some real ping-pong between the two teams on the halfway line. Little Wamens come away in possession. Rexo for Painey after the second pass, and that one comes off the crossbar and away.
That was the closest one we've had to a goal for Little Wamens so far in this game. That's a redirect nearly going in, but Hodge getting the block on the follow-up for Painey. Creamy now trying to send it back into the middle as Painey blocking out Havoc on that clear as Rexo gets a brilliant pinch into the middle. Now goes for a second touch. He does get it. Alex Meister dropping it down into the middle. Oh, Rexo just messing about with Creamy there. That's not what you want to do with your teammate, as that's a miscommunication by Little Wamens.
The Youthstones will be doing some clock watching in this game 4 at the moment, as we are 90 seconds of the way to a game 5. The Youthstones lead remains intact for the time being. I'm sure they'd love to add to it, but this ball is coming all the way back into their back left corner where Alex Meister has to contend with Creamy putting some pressure on, but Creamy's missed it. Painey is committed quite far forwards as well, so there's an opportunity for Alex Meister to work their way into the corner and push it all the way central. Now Havoc on the far side picks up, and Hodge will be on hand in the middle to receive this one, but they aren't going to get a shooting opportunity out of it. It's Rexo instead from the corner, push it into the centre, and Creamy's got lots of room, and Hodge pinches it off the ground to make the stop. Now Havoc, one-on-one with Rexo going the other way, takes one extra touch and looks for the bottom left corner, but can't find the back of the net.
That was so close for Havoc, wanting to return a musty flick for Little Wamens, but happily sent away by Rexo, not falling for that one, as Painey now tries to return some of the pressure for Youthstones as Rexo sends it into the middle, nearly going in, but Havoc is there with the save. Havoc now faking out one, trying to go for the flick. He does get it. Rexo with the save as he now sends it into his own corner, tries to get the clear. That's a little double commit, but Alex Meister leaves it for Hodge, getting demoed in the process as Rexo now takes his time, passes to Painey. Painey can't do much as Havoc sends it up for Alex Meister. That's a double commit. Or no, double touch, not double commit, but Alex Meister will slot one in.
And it's a 2-goal lead now for the Youthstones as they have a little bit of breathing room after getting to the final of the Infinitude series last night before losing to Visu Gaming. Their quality has seeped into this series as well. Can they hold out on this lead? They are out shooting Little Wamens comfortably at the moment, but it's a 2-goal lead with 2 minutes to go. Still enough time for the team in orange to secure this series in 4. Rexo now from the corner gets it in for Creamy. This one comes off the ceiling. Painey's going to be up for it, and the pressure is building on the Youthstones. Rexo looking for the redirect from a hard angle, but the demo in front opened up some space, and the Youthstones will get it away.
Rexo going for a solo play. He does get the doozy dish, and he puts one in for Little Wamens. That's what you need to do, and that's what we need to see more from you guys and girls over at Little Wamens.
Unbelievable recovery there, reversing into the ball initially before carrying it forwards over a defender. Lovely solo finish, and a very important goal for Little Wamens in the context of this game. It's not come from any particular sustained momentum, but now they're only one shot away from tying it. Does Painey have that shot? Alex Meister blocks it at the source and gets it clear.
Hodge tries to return it into the middle. He does do so. Rexo gets a pass, but Painey can't really convert it into a goal. Creamy now going for a pass into the middle. Goes for a solo play. He gets the flip reset, but gets blocked by Alex Meister in the process. Havoc now getting a clear. Rexo doing the teamwork that he needs to do just sends the ball away from danger. Penny getting demoed in his own corner by Havoc, as Rexo now going for another shot. Not on target, but Havoc... Oh, well, sorry, Hodge now getting the clear. Penny trying to deliver some pressure back as Creamy goes for another midfield pass. Rexo's waiting, can't do much with it though.
Well, the Youth Stones have scarcely left their half in the last couple of minutes or so, but they will get an opportunity to do so here as Alex Meister gets a clear into the offensive zone. Now Creamy gets it away. Flip reset! 41 seconds left. Little Wamens have tied the game up. That shot was unsavable.
Now that, as the name of Oostone says, a real big oof for Hodge, who can't make that save. Creamy, brilliant and nasty flip reset there to equalize the game. 41 seconds left on the clock. This is giving me a bit of deja vu to the last game.
Well, the Little Wamens have been the better team in the last couple of minutes or so, and they have the goals to show for it. And now the Youth Stones find themselves needing at least one more. It may well come in overtime again if nobody can score it in the next 30 seconds. Youth Stones are the team trying to do that for now, but it's Creamy winning it back down the left side. Into the centre for Rexo, and the demo from Creamy frees up the play. And with 19 seconds to go, Little Wamens have the lead.
Oh, unfortunate touch by Havoc, just passing it perfectly for Rexo. Creamy realizing the situation they're on, goes for the demo, leaves the ball alone to roll in when they are rewarded with the lead.
Payne now just trying to see out the time as the Youth Stones come forward for one Hail Mary in the final 10 seconds of the game. Hodge did get a demo in there, but Alex Meister doesn't win the 50. It will be Hodge to put it back into the centre looking for Havoc. Creamy wins it back on the far side and they have to get into the opposition half. Havoc goes for the flick. Payne just wants to kill this ball, and the Little Wamens will take this series in 4 games. It was anything but straightforward for them, but the defending champions are off to a 1-0 start in league play.
What a start for Little Wamens, and an unfortunate start for Oostones. Now they're 0-2 in standings, but Little Wamens happily grabbing that win. You know, it was not the least, Little Wamens, even though they grabbed the win for 3-1. You gotta say, props to Oofstones. They put up a great show up against Little Wamens, putting a lot of pressure, but couldn't convert them into wins, unfortunately.
Yeah, they'll be gutted that they couldn't take this series to a Game 5 as they now start their league play campaign 0-2. But well, they've gotten games off of both Imagine Playing Freeze and Little Wamens now. 2 sides that could be among the very top contenders to win the Vortex. Whereas for the Youth Stones, I don't think their expectations are necessarily that high. I think they'd be happy with getting into the playoffs and producing a decent showing. So those couple of games are valuable ones, even if they weren't series victories. Maybe against the lesser seeds in the Vortex, they'll have better opportunities to win.
Yeah, I mean, it is still over 7 weeks left on league play, so anything can happen. It's just the start of the season. It's time to convert that bad start into a great season instead, going forward into a possible playoff spot. But hey, great show by Oofstones. I would be very surprised if they don't make it into playoffs. I mean, look at the amount of skill they already have. Can't imagine it getting worse. Just very, very unfortunate that they couldn't convert, the close games up against Little Wamens into wins.
Well, that is going to do it for our stream here at Slipstream this evening, as we had 2 matches for you tonight. A 3-0 sweep victory for Nox Esports Tampa over ILV Forest Green in Division 2.2. For, as you just saw, Little Wamens, the defending ECC champions, get off to a winning start with a hard-working, battling 3-1 victory over the Youth Stones. And so, from myself, Victor, and Faded as the streamer, thank you for watching and good night.